Leviticus 21:22 focuses on the unique calling, responsibilities, and holiness required of Israel's priests. As mediators between God and the people, priests were held to the highest standards of purity, both morally and ritually, to protect the sanctity of God's presence and represent His holiness to the community. Priests were forbidden from making themselves ritually unclean by contact with the dead, except in the case of immediate family members. They were also prohibited from engaging in practices of mourning common to surrounding pagan cultures, such as shaving the head or cutting the flesh, which were viewed as signs of disrespect for God's creation. Leviticus 21:1-6. Marriage regulations were strict. Priests could not marry women of ill repute or divorcees, and the high priest was to marry only a virgin from his own people to preserve the priestly lineage. Leviticus 21:7-13-15. The text also states that any descendant of Aaron with a physical deformity or impurity was not permitted to serve at the altar, although he could still share in the sacred food. Leviticus 21:16-23. This requirement underscored the symbolic perfection associated with service in the sanctuary, representing God's wholeness and holiness. Leviticus 22 extends the regulations, emphasizing that priests must avoid ritual impurity, especially when handling sacred offerings. If a priest became unclean, he was forbidden to eat holy food until he was purified. Holy things dedicated to God by the Israelites, such as sacred food, could only be consumed by priests and their immediate family, never by outsiders. Leviticus 22:1-16. Further, the sacrificial animals themselves were to be unblemished, as God's offerings must be given with the utmost respect and integrity. Leviticus 22:17-25. Any animal with a defect, injury, or imperfection was unacceptable for sacrifice. The recurring theme in these chapters is God as holiness and the sacred trust He placed in the priesthood. You must keep my requirements so that you do not profane my holy name. I am the Lord who makes you holy. Leviticus 22:31-32. Altogether, Leviticus 21-22 demonstrates that representing God before the people requires supreme personal discipline, separation, and devotion, forming the core of spiritual leadership in ancient Israel. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks.